Uh, in this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to use a PHP framework called Symfony. Okay, so before we begin, quick reminder that I'll host a live stream every single day. What you do is you visit ojambo.com, you go to the watch menu, then the live sub menu, you can see the current live stream is called PHP Web Framework Symfony. It shows you the channel it's going to be on and the approximate day and time. And these are the post-dated topics for future live streams. So each of those articles is going to have about 3 paragraphs in the beginning of each article to tell you the date and the time. It's always going to be Eastern time. You're free to ask questions about programming related topics and the channel it's going to be on. So you log in, for example, to this channel, click the link, and you'll be able to ask any questions or any requests. So during the live stream, I'll be able to answer your questions. So also be sure to subscribe, like, follow, and leave comments for more frequent content. And then, so what is Symfony? Symfony is a set of component libraries designed to help developers build web applications, APIs, and web services. Symfony also comes with built-in libraries to handle common tasks, save development time. So some of those common tasks could be template agents like Twig, or other options, for example, like Smarty, to further separate the presentation layer from your code. Symfony can also be extended by third-party libraries, helpers, and plugins, customize its functionality to fit your project's specific needs. So Symfony is one of those frameworks that follows the model view controller paradigm. So what's a model? And here the glossary that presents the data and business logic, interacts, for example, with the database, that's called CRUD operations, performs calculations, handles data processing. The view, this is responsible for displaying the user interfaces, contains HTML, CSS, and potentially some PHP for data presentation. And what's a controller? That's an intermediary between the model and the view, and this receives user requests, loads modules, interacts with them, and it retrieves data, and then loads the appropriate views to display the results. So Symfony can be downloaded from symfony.com. So you go here and you can see it explains that it's a set of reusable PHP packages, and it's also PHP framework for web projects. Speed up the creation of maintenance of your PHP web applications and repetitive coding tasks, and enjoy the power of controlling your code. Now, personally, I don't use PHP frameworks because depending on what a client wants, a client might want something to say a WordPress, Drupal, Magento. So that's already a platform. That's what I use. If I'm making my own, I personally prefer Speed. So I'll probably have my own, like, for example, database abstraction class. But I'm saying is that if I take over a project that, for example, is using Symfony or another PHP web framework, I'll continue and just update it if I have to. So let's actually begin here. So it tells you that you see here you're getting started, and there's also, you can also watch the video course for Symfony number 7. But I'll show you how I go about installing Symfony. So you can see here Symfony will be accessed under localhost 8080. And you can see I have instructions here how to install the Symfony command line tool, and then how to set it up. Or you can also set up you're using Composer, and how you can run the Symfony development server. One thing I do like about the Symfony development server is, like, unlike, for example, the built-in PHP server, this one actually does come with the SSO certificate, so that's actually very, very nice. And basically you just create entities. We're going to create a database environment, and you create a controller, and you create a route. Okay, and this is the environment, as you can see the screenshot here, and then you can check the setup environment, and obviously display your app settings. This is when the development server is running, and of course this is how I made my entity. And then, as you can see, I just grabbed basically this is kind of like a web service. I'll explain what that means, and this is the output. And of course, as I promised, if you don't want to go to the channel, you can obviously just watch this embedded video. For example, if I click this, running, this is actually live. All right, and obviously Symfony is released under the MIT license, which is a permissive license, and PHP is obviously released under PHP license, which is a permissive license as well. Okay, with that out of the way, let's get started. So I have a folder here I've created. I'll show it to you. I already have a project here, but I'm not going to use that project. I'm going to create a new project, and you'll see what it is. So we just need the command line. So let's jump here to the console. I'll make this a little bit smaller. Okay. And make this one a little bit bigger. Get rid of this. Clear. And I'll zoom in so you can see what I'm doing. There we go. So to download Symfony, you can use curl command. So you just say curl, and then you https. So I'm getting the CLI installer. So symfony.com/CLI installer and bash, so meaning that it will install it for me. So you see it's downloading it, and you see it has installed it. It's telling me that I can add the path to my shell configuration here, or I can install it globally, installing it in my user local bin Symfony, and that's how you can run it. Now, if I don't want to do that, you see it has installed it as a local file. So this is the command I'm going to be using, or I can create a shortcut to it. So I'll just use this command. So I'll copy here. So what I'll do is I'll paste this down here, and then I'm going to create a web project. So I'll say new, then web app. It's going to be web app, and I just need to give it a name. So my name, I'm going to call it, what name can I call this? I'll call it, let's say, I can't come up with a name. What's wrong with me today? Let's just call it DB project. Okay. So you see it created a new folder called DB project, and it's obviously in the background it's using Composer. So you see it's creating a new Symfony project with the Composer, setting up the project under the Git version control system because I already have Git installed. So you see it initializes Git in this project called DB project, and you see now it's telling me my project is ready in the Symfony /DB _ project, and this is the one here, DB project. So we can go inside it, and I'll do the same thing here. I'll cd into it, DB project, and as you can see here, it creates the assets folder, bin, YAML file, another YAML file for compose, composer JSON, lock, config, and all this stuff in here. So now if I type PHP, obviously I have PHP installed as well. So bin /console about. So it tells me here, this is information about my project. You see this version, it's 7.2.6. The end of maintenance is on this July? Yeah, July 2025 in 70 days. End of life is also the same time. This is the reason I was telling you why I don't like using frameworks for complete projects, because you have to maintain them. That's why I'm saying, like, if I was just doing something very simple, maybe just the database abstraction class, that could probably be a good idea as well. So here you see the kernel type, and it created a cache directory and a build directory and a log directory. And it knows in a PHP version, because I'm using Fedora 42, I think it is. And it comes with PHP 8.4.6. It's 64-bit architecture. And obviously it's my international locale is English, Canada. And the time zone, I don't know if that's correct, but whatever. And I don't have OP cache, APCU, and Xberg installed. I don't need it for this tutorial. Okay, I don't need them for this tutorial, sorry. Okay, now with that out of the way, I need to create an environment. So I'll just use nano here, command line, .env. Okay, let me maximize this. So in here, it's going to ask me which database I want to use. So I'm going to leave this environment dev is fine. I will go down here. You see there's 3 types of databases I can use. I can use SQLite, MySQL, and I guess the 2 different MySQL versions. And then there's Postgres. I'm not going to use that one, so I'm going to comment that one out. And I'm going to pick one of these ones. I think it detected my... Let me actually zoom out a little bit. I think I can. Yeah, we go. And you can see it knows that I'm using MariaDB. So I'm going to use this one, my MariaDB one. And basically the way it works is this is going to be the database, I believe. Actually, let me go back to the here. And yes, I was right. Yeah. So that's a database user. So database user is GAI. And the password for that one is your database password. And then this is localhost, which is fine. And then when it says app here, that's a database name. The database name is, I think, GAI, I believe. Yeah, that's correct. So this is all correct. And this is my database, the one I'm actually using. So save that. I also need to start the database. It's not actually connected right now. I'll start a systemctl start MariaDB. Oh, oops. Oh, MariaDB. Okay, so the database has started. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is I need to start the server. So if you remember that command, this one here, Symfony, and then you type server colon start. And you can see here it's running with PHP FPM, which is actually pretty awesome. And yeah, so it's actually running right now. So we can actually go to 10,000. I can show this to you if we actually I don't know if it will work here, but let's try it out. So it's HTTP 127.0.0.1.1 8080. Let's go up here. Oh, it's 8,000. Sorry, put 8080. It's 8,000. My bad. Sorry about that. It's 8,000. Yeah, there we go. See, now Symfony is running, and it's telling me your application is ready at this. This is the full path, and then you can create your first page. You can go here. I'm gonna do my own page, so let's go ahead and do that. We can use the command line, but there's really no need to. So let me actually. I'm gonna go in here. Get this out of here. Clean. Clear. Okay, zoom in a little bit so you guys can see better. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create an entity class. So PHP bin / console make :entity. So it's asking me to create the name of the entity. Sorry, class name of the entity to create or update. So I'm not updating, I'm creating it for the first time. So what I'm going to type is GAI. And it says add the ability to broadcast entity updates using Symfony. So the default is no, so I just press enter. See, now it has created two it's created this source entity guy.php, and then it's repository guy repository.php. Then it says entity generated. Now let's add some fields. Now I don't need to add fields because my database already exists. So I don't need to add the fields here. I'll just I can add them manually is what I'm trying to say. So I don't need to add them here. I'll add them manually is what I'm trying to say. So I just press enter, and you see it's done. It's finished. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm also going to create a route. So I go to config /routes /attributes. This file might not exist, so you might need to create it yourself. Oh yeah, see, it doesn't exist, so you have to create this yourself. Attributes, YAML file. So what I do is, wow, it's almost been 20 minutes. Okay, so paste this in here. So what I do is I create a controllers and resource, and then the path will be back, and then source controller, and then the namespace is app/controller, and then the type is attribute, and the kernel, and then the attribute. So this file could be created automatically if I had used the turbo, but you have to create that. Then next, what I'm going to do is I am going to, in this particular one, I think I'll use the text editor. So nom text editor, and then I will say source/entity, and then .php. Okay, so this file has now been opened here. I'll zoom in so you can see it. So with this particular file here, you see here it's using the this class, so that's fine. So I need to add another, I need to tell it what database table to connect to. So what I do that is it's ORM/table, and then the name is users. Okay, then there's ID, and then there's a generate value column int ID. This is actually correct. There's actually an ID like this, and it's gonna we're gonna have a method here or function called getID, and it's an int. So this is actually correct. This is absolutely correct. However, there's also a username, there's a name, and there's this age. So age is going to be this. I'll just copy this, paste it here. This is weird. I don't know why it's okay. Whatever. So actually, let me undo that again. I don't know why it's copy this. Paste. There we go. So this one is going to be it's an int, but it's going to be age. Oh no. Oh yeah, age. So just age, and that's fine. And then we're going to copy this again. Paste it there, and this is going to be verified. It's also an integer, so I type verified. Hope it's about right. Verified. Now there's also a as I said, there's a name, and so here I'll paste it there. This is column, and you have to put length. Because I'm using a text field, so I say type length, and then 65535, and that one is the name, and I just need to copy this and create one more, and that one is the username. So it's ID, username, name, age, and verified. Okay, then we have this one, which is the get ID. So as you can tell, so this is going to be exactly the same for the age and the verified. So this one, it will be get age, and this will be age, and this will be verified, and this is verified. Okay, and then obviously we need the we need the one for the name and the username. So those ones, space here. So this one will be username, and it's going to be a string, and this obviously will be username. And you just have to copy that. And the other one was just name. And this will be name. So that's our entity. It's done. Okay, so next, the next thing we need to do is get our controller. So go back to the command line here, and then I will open up the controller. So it's controller, and it's our guy. It doesn't exist, so we are going to create it, controller.php. Okay, so here, oops, where is our, yeah, you see it's completely empty. So we need to, that doesn't make sense. Make sure, let's go to the controller folder here. Source, controller. Oh, see the controller is empty. That's why I had to make it. So this is my own controller, which is fine. So what I would do is, it's taking a little bit too much time. So I think what I'll do is I'll just paste here, and I'll explain everything. So obviously we need PHP. Okay, so it's a namespace. It's obviously app controller, and the entity, it's going to use the entity we just created, this one here, right here. And then we need this Symfony HTTP Foundation response and the route. The reason for that is because you see here we are getting the ID. This is the route. It will be by ID, and then it will display the username. So for example here, once we get the ID from the URL, we check to see if that ID actually does exist. If it doesn't exist, we say no product. Actually, this should say no user. No user found for the ID. And then this is our HTML. I'm just using Herodox. I'm styling it as you give it a pretty styling, and then putting in a table, ID, username, name, and age, and I'm putting them in here. This is how you output the stuff from our guy entity, this one here. You see when it says, if I say get ID, get username, and so forth. So that's that. And now when we go here in the URL, what I do is I grab an ID. So for example, if I do slash ID, and you see it's telling me there's an error because it's the guy. You see the namespace has to be the very first on guy controller line 2. Why is that not working? Namespace / controller. That's actually correct. I don't know why it's doing that. See if I made a mistake. Look at one of this. Oh yeah, okay, so I made a mistake, that's what I thought. So it's actually GAI, and I give it an ID. For example, if I put ID 1, name decoration has to be the very first. Why is it doing that? That is correct. It's I don't know why it's. Did I not copy this properly? Alright, just a second. I don't know what's going on here. This is actually correct. Must have made a mistake somewhere. Name entity. Okay, there we go. Yeah, spaces. Okay, it says the file does not the routes does not valid YAML file. Okay, so let's go and see what the problem was. Let's open up our YAML file as well. Config /routes/attributes. Okay, so we go here. This is our file here. Try it again. Oh, it's spaces. Okay, there we go. So it doesn't like my tabs, so I'll use spaces instead. So I'll do 2 spaces. Oops. Okay, so I removed all the tabs. A coin cannot be used on line 6. That is weird. Try again. Okay. I am going to take the old project and grab this config file, compare it, see what's going on here. So we have so I'm just going to grab this and paste it in here. Okay, there we go. So yeah, those YAML files are a pain in the butt to make, but as you see, so it's working fine, as you can tell. So let me zoom in here. So once you add in the ID, it grabs the stuff from the database. Oh, this is 0 and 0. That's actually incorrect. So I must have made a mistake somewhere. Oh, int. I made this int. Obviously, it's not an integer. This is supposed to be a string. So copy this. This is a string, and this is a string. If I go back here now, it should be fine. Yeah, there we go. So you can see it grabbed the username and it grabbed the name. Okay, so for example, if I put another ID here, I put ID 2, You see, I grabbed 2 and whatever the ID was 2 and grab the data there. So I think there's only 2 records. If I go to 3, yeah, it doesn't exist because there's no, it says no user found for ID number 2. So obviously I can only do 2 and 1, and then there we go. So this is a perfect web application. So that's how Symfony, you can use Symfony to create something like this. Now, would I, for example, if I was creating an app like this, would I actually use Symfony for all this? It depends. For example, if I only had Composer and PHP, this already obviously would come with a built-in web server. And if its job was just to get the IDs from a database that doesn't have obviously sensitive information, yeah, I would use Symfony. But something like this, I would just create it myself. And I said I could just create my own database queries, and I grab all the data myself. I don't have to do this, but I'm saying it depends. If you wanted to get started up quickly, I do admit this is pretty quickly. It'll have taken me longer to write all this code just to do this. But as I said, it depends. So you decide if this is worth it or not. Let you know. So obviously, when you're running the, I can exit this one here. If you see the this PHP web server, the one thing I do like it actually does is PHP FPM. So what you can do is to exit, you just go down here, and you can see all the errors when I was making mistakes, or when I made some mistakes. So just Control C, and you see it stopped all processes successfully. So the server, for example, I refresh, the server is gone, doesn't exist anymore. Okay, so go back to the article here on ojumbo.com. Quick reminder that I do have a live stream every single day. You visit ojumbo.com, you go watch menu, live sub menu, you can see the current live stream and the future post-dated live streams. There's always the channel they're going to be on, and then the date and time. Also, be sure to subscribe, like, follow, and leave comments for more frequent content. If you enjoy this, consider supporting me. Purchase one of my WordPress plugins at ojumbo.com. Enroll my programming courses at ojumboshop.com. You can buy my programming books on Amazon. Search for Ojumbo. Links in the description. You can also hire me for your programming and app development needs at ojumboservices.com. And you can also donate at ojumbo.com/donate. The donate button is also up here in the fixed header. Okay, I'm checking the chat. I don't see any chat requests, so I'm going to end this live stream, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you.